Hello everyone and welcome to Life with Aprons. Today is a very cold day. We are enduring an Arctic blast, which is pretty much across America, and I decided it was time to catch up on grinding meat. My husband got 3 deer this past season, which ended at the end of December for our area, and I did a lot of freezing of the extra meat and just wanted to put it in the freezer until the holidays were over and I had time to grind it. So today is the day. So come along with me as I turn the deer scraps into ground venison. So before I begin the grinding process, the first thing I like to do is grab some fat. I have some beef fat here, but you could also use pig fat. I have used that in the past, and I just want to take this fat and cut it into small chunks. And I'm going to add this to the venison as I grind it. Deer is such a lean animal. The meat is so lean that you really want to add some fat into it. It especially helps when you're frying it up. I use a cast iron pan, and so that helps when I'm frying it up so it doesn't stick. It also gives it a little more flavor. So I always like to have some fat on hand during the deer season so that I can combine that with the deer scraps and grind them all together in my grinder. This particular fat, this beef fat, I have actually had in the freezer probably about 8 months. We butchered a cow, and I told the butcher I want every single thing from the cow, and he was amazing. He's our local butcher, and he did. He gave me literally everything from that cow, and nothing was wasted. Oftentimes, some of this fat will be thrown away. I wanted it all. So I used a lot of it for making tallow, which is basically you're just rendering the fat and making it into tallow, and I use that for frying. I use it in my soaps. I even use it for my face care. If you want to know more about that, check out my video on how to render tallow from beef fat and also how to purify tallow for making soaps and things that you don't want to smell of beef. When I go to grind the meat, I actually have an attachment that goes onto my Bosch mixer. It's really great. My husband bought it for me, 14 years ago, even before I'd even considered grinding my own meat. He wasn't even hunting back then, but he thought maybe in the future she might need this, and so he bought it with my Bosch mixer, and it has been amazing. I have used it for years and years. It is a workhorse, and it does a really good job of grinding up the meat. You can see my son is helping me, and he's really wanting to do it by himself and keeps moving my hand out of the way so that he can do it. It's always great to have the kids in the kitchen and just to show them what I'm doing and pass these things down to them, because I know, I don't know about you, but my husband can speak to this as well, but my great-grandmother, nobody paid attention to her in the kitchen, and so they didn't pass down a whole lot, and she didn't write down recipes and the way she did things so much, and so it's been a process of relearning the old ways, and we really want those ways to stay alive, and so bringing the kids in the kitchen to help is one of the best ways that you can do that, because you really are passing down those things to our children so that they can keep them alive. And one of the best things is grinding your own meat. It's such a freeing process to be able to know, hey, I can do this myself. I don't have to rely on a butcher. Like I said earlier, we have an amazing local butcher who does our cows for us. But when it comes to deer, my husband likes to butcher it himself, and then we grind the meat ourselves as well. This turned out to be a huge bowl of meat, and I'm thankful for those bowls. I found them at Marshall's a while back, and I snagged them up because I thought, I know I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff in bulk, especially with canning and everything. These bowls have come in very useful. So the next step in the process of grinding everything was for me to basically package it up. I use freezer paper, and then I wrap it up in the freezer paper and I stick it in a freezer bag, and I can fit about 3 pounds per gallon freezer bag. I have a weighing machine there, and I weigh them in 1 pound packages, and then I wrap them up, stick them in the gallon size freezer and write on it, and I even write the date on it just to make sure. Sometimes meat can get lost in the bag or something like that, and so I want to make sure that I'm using up the oldest meat first. All in all, I ended up with about 33 pounds of ground venison from the 3 deer, which was great. My husband cut a lot of them into steaks, so we had less to grind, but this will really help over the next year. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments about the process, put them down below. Thank you so much for watching.